In the last episode, we talked about at this point in time, the most troublesome thing is to find Yin Bingyun's whereabouts. The situation is cloudy. Before Fan Xian can find him, they'll get the list of spies in the capital by any means necessary. Since Fan Xian and Qing Yu Nian can't show their faces, I'll have to leave it to someone else. It was the man he rescued from Yin Xiaoyu, Guo Baoquan, whom he rescued from Yin Xiaoyu and brought all the way to the capital. They've already made a deal. Guo Baoquan is working for Fan Xian. When he returns to Kyoto, he'll ask his father, Guo Youji, to forgive him. What Fan Xian asked Guo Baoquan to do was simple. All he had to do was talk to people on the streets. Find out the exact location of the Jinyui boss. When the person walked out of the inn in confusion, the Jinyui received a tip-off. The entire capital is under the control of the Jin Yi Wei. Ordinary people don't dare to say anything, for fear of being caught in the crossfire. At this very moment, a man appeared in front of him. He generously pointed out where the Jinyui prison was located. The man who showed him the way was Xinzhong. In fact, when Guo Baoquan entered the city, he had already sent someone to spy on Fan Xianyu. When Qing Yu Nian found Guo Baoquan, he also received the information. That's why he intentionally leaked the information to Guo Baoquan, but he knew in his heart, the supervisory committee would never send someone like this as a scout. Xinzhong led his troops to Guo Baoquan's inn, but found it empty. Fan Xing and Wang Yin have disappeared. Xinzhong stopped his lieutenant from conducting a full-scale search. Instead, he locked his eyes to a handful of dust on the couch. He immediately decided that Fan Xian and Wang Qing Yu Nian had taken the opportunity to escape from the roof. So he gave the order, tell them to search the center of the inn, but don't make too much noise. The Jinyui had just left. Fan Xian and Qing Yu Nian got out from under the bed. Luckily, they anticipated the predictions from Xinzhong. They didn't start from under the bed, and it's just a small detail. In fact, Fan Xian never put his hopes on Guo Baoquan. Guo Baoquan, who has no heart at all, suddenly jumped out of the caravan into the crowd. The person Fan Xian is talking about. He's the man he fought with a few days ago, Taoist. Although he is under the Empress Dowager, but he was entrusted by Chen Pingping. He promised to kill Fan Xian in the capital, but he also made it clear he would not take action himself, nor would he expose his whereabouts for Fan Xian. At most, he would deliver a secret message. Other than that, Taoist also said, before he returned to Kyoto, he was asked to check the books of the Inari treasure count in town. It's also convenient to take over the panty shop. Xinzhong is personally guarding the panty cutter. Very few people know his whereabouts. Taoist is not one of them. The only information I could provide to Aizen, I can only find out where Yan Bingyun used to live. Maybe we can find some clues. However, when he pushed open the door, he hasn't heard of any further movement. Instead, Xinzhong realized Fan Xian's skill could be a matter. He thinks he should find a trusted martial artist in the capital. That's the only way to be sure. There aren't many 9th grade masters in Northern Qi. Those who can be deployed to attack the trial are even more rare. Haitang is always by the Empress Dowager's side. The tiger hates him to the bone. The only one who is most suitable is Taoist. Xinzhong's decision is part of Fan Xian's plan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said those words in front of the mansion. With Taoist River as his mole, what Fan Xian needs to do next is to find clues in the traces left by Yin Bingyun before he disappeared. How could Fan Xian not realize that after Yin Bingyun's identity was exposed, the Jinyuri would have searched her house at once naturally? They won't leave any loose ends. This old house is useless. But Yin Bingyun was famous for a while. Many people knew him. When the imperial assassins came to arrest him, the residents of Jiangling and the people watching, there must have been a lot of them. Even if Xinzhou is very powerful, he couldn't kill so many people just to cover it up. So these days we found outsiders pretending to be looking for relatives in Beiki, drinking tea in the neighborhood for several days. They've been trying to get information out of the people. When he learned that Yin Bingyun had fallen into Xinzhong's hands, a girl actually got the news in advance. She rushed here to let Yin Bingyun escape, but they were so patient with the girl. It's impossible for a woman to do something like this. And Xinzhong has a sister at home. It's said that the brother and sister are very close to each other. If we want to find Yin Bingyun, this woman is the only way to break through. According to Fan Xian's instructions, he suggested to Xinzhong to remove the other followers. He'll do the surveillance himself. When Xinzhong heard that Qing Yu Nian was with Fan Xian, was a top male tracking master, he didn't revolt. That way, they can execute their plan much more smoothly. Qing Yu Nian is an excellent tracker. He followed Miss Shan's carriage. He chased her all the way to the south of the city, only because of the defense force. By sending the eyes, We can be sure there's something important hidden in this area. Maybe it's the Yin Bingyun they're looking for. There's not much time left to be a criminal. Furukawa's eldest disciple, Mr. Lang, that's Haitang Duo's senior brother. He's received a secret message from Shenzhong when he arrives at the capital. It won't be Taoist who will be watching over the criminals. He has no choice but to take the risk to deliver a message to Miss Shun's bodyguard. It just so happens that this time, Fan Xian was right. Miss Shin does have feelings for Yin Bingyun, although she doesn't know the identity of the intruder. But for Yin Bingyun's comfort, she stopped the carriage at the place Fan Xian had agreed upon. Fan Xian got into the carriage when no one was looking. He briefly and succinctly explained his true purpose is to rescue Yin Bingyun. The two countries have made a deal. Sooner or later, Yin Bingyun will go back to Qing. Since it's the same as sooner or later, why should I help you now? Before he leaves, the quarantine guards will definitely increase the penalty. Can you really bear to see Yin Bingyun become an invalid? Miss Shun finally agreed when the carriage reaches its destination. Fan Xian held her hostage. He managed to see the bruised Yin Bingyun. At the same time, Dangren came to see Shenzhong. He claimed that when he was following Fan Xian, he was stopped by a masked master. They fought and lost him. He emphasized that he was also a 9th grade. His moves were tough. The momentum is magnificent of all the 9th grade fighters in the capital. Only the Tiger and the Taoist have powerful moves. This is to lead Shenzhong to believe that Fan Xian and Shang Shan who are in cahoots with each other. Fan Xian's kidnapping of the Shun family's young lady, it soon reached Shenzhong's ears. He was eager to go to the scene and take charge. He offered to go with him. He refused. The guards arrived just in time. Shenzhong felt sorry for his sister. He didn't want to scold her, but he refused to let Fan Xian take Yin Bingyun. He even tried to kill Fan Xian on the spot. No one knew he was here anyway. Even Miss Shun, who was with him, became nervous. But Risk looked as if nothing had happened. He didn't change his face even though he was attacked with a sword or an axe, because he had already asked Wang Qinian to go and get help. Now it's since even the Empress Dowager has given the word, she wants the Jinui to exchange Yin Bingyun. Shenzhong had no choice but to comply. A crisis has been resolved. Fan County was relieved, but Yin Bingyun's paranoia, it was a bit of a headache for him. The internal treasury and financial power are all in a tricky position. The procuratorate has high hopes. The Crown Prince and the Second Prince are competing for him. Even the Holy Maiden of the Northern Qi dynasty favors him. It's inevitable that Yin Bingyun has doubts. But no matter what, with his own intelligence and Miss Shin's love, Yin Bingyun was finally rescued. He's gone this far. What could this little Yin not believe? Wang Qinian saw that Yin Bingyun wouldn't budge. He volunteered to help Fan Xian clarify. But the words he used in his explanation, they were a bit out of line. After returning to the post, Gauda was still enjoying himself to deal with the fighters who challenged him. In front of Yin Bingyun, who was full of nonsense, Fan Xian didn't bother to prove his innocence. He sent him back to his house to recover. Fan Xian and Yin Bingyun were able to avoid this disaster. If he hadn't ordered Haitang to come and rescue them, Fan Xian is planning to take action against Shenzhong. As for this suspicious man, Mr. Yin, who doesn't take his life seriously, he could only let nature take its course. While Yin Bingyun was on his way to Fuyang, Fan Xian told him everything he had experienced since entering the capital. He told him everything. When it came to Fan Xian instructing He Daoren to deceive Shenzhong, Yin Bingyun became suddenly serious because He Daoren deceived Shenzhong. The reason he told Fan Xian had pushed He Daoren to Shenzhong's suspicion. He's afraid Shenzhong won't believe it easily. It was the Tiger who stopped the Taoist people that day, because after entering the city, Fan's every move was under the control of the Imperial assassins. It's certain he never had the chance to communicate with Tiger. He's a dead man walking. That's why Shenzhong, who has always been suspicious, got suspicious of Taoist. That's why he invited Lang Qiu. Two masters of wine will fight against each other. He was sure of victory. Yin Bingyun was right, but Shenzhong didn't realize. Fan Xian, whom he despised the most, he was good at thinking what others couldn't. He wants to do what others can't. The Tiger's men asked when we could strike. Tell him. I'll give him an answer in 2 or 3 days.